So yeah, hi, we are live. Hi everyone, welcome back to Codera. Today we'll be doing the fourth session of this mastering greedy problems CodeForces. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join, and then we'll begin with this session. Okay. So if my voice is audible and my screen is perfectly visible to all of you, then please consider giving a like to the video and also comment on +1 so that I know that everything is working fine, and then we'll begin with the session today. Hi Shaheen, hi Sethi. So today will be I have updated also one more thing. So we have updated the description of the video with the links. So we updated it, so you can look at the problems if you want. Okay. Besides this, I'll just wait for some more time for others to join, and then we'll begin with the session. So there's one problem named as yet another two integer problem. Then the second problem is honest coach. The third problem is restore the permutation by merger, right? So these are the three problems that we'll be discussing today, and if we have some time, so definitely we can discuss fourth problem as well. So this is all that we'll be doing, and I'll just wait for some more time for others to join, and then immediately we'll begin with the session. Okay. Yeah, hi Ria, great to see you guys being consistent. So Jay, like what I'll say is whenever like the way you are consistent with the videos that you're watching, that we are doing streams, so just try to solve at least 3 to 4 problems a day on CodeForces. Go to some tags like greedy tag, or you can say hashing tag, or you can say DFS tags, trees tags, graph tag, and try to solve 3 to 4 problems at least a day. And by doing this, you will be improving day by day. Okay, so this is something that I want to say. And what we'll be doing from the next day is I'll be asking you tomorrow that how many questions did you try on CodeForces, how many questions did you practice on CodeForces, right? You can go to this problem set, and there you can use the tags, you can use tags for the problems, and then you can try solving various problems, right? In this way your problem solving skills will increase, right? So this is something that I wanted to say. And another thing that if you can hear me, so and if this video is perfectly audible, visible, everything, so please like the video as well. Okay, and I'll just wait for some 1 minute more, and then we'll begin with the problems today. Okay, so as you can see, these are the problems that we'll be discussing, and if we have some more time, then definitely we can discuss more problems ahead. Okay, so yeah, so let's begin with the first problem. So the first problem is named as yet another two integer problem, and it was asked in CodeForces round 667 division 3. So this problem was the first problem of the round 667 division 3. The problem is named as yet another two integer problem. Let's read the problem statement. So it says that you have been given two integers a and b, and in one move what you can do is you can choose any integer k from 1 to 10. You can choose any integer k from 1 to n, and you can add it, you can add it to a, or you can subtract it from a, right? So what you have to do is let's say you have been given, first of all, you have been given two integers, right? You have been given let me just give some time. You have been given a and b, and in one move what you can do is you can choose some k where the value of k is between 1 to 10, right? Let me write it in a much more clear manner. So the value of k is between something between 1 to 10, and what happens is in one move either you can do a plus k, you can change a to a plus k, or you can do this, or you can do a minus k. And once you have done this, so you may use different values of k, but in different moves, and the k value should be between 1 to 10, and your task is to find the minimum number of moves to make to obtain b from a, right? You have to make a, you have to convert a to b in minimum number of moves, right? In minimum number of moves. How can we do this? How can we do this, right? So is the problem statement clear to everyone? Like you have been given two integers a and b. You have been given a you can take any random k which is between 1 to 10, which can be between 1 to 10, and what you can do is in one move you can either change a to a plus k, or you can change a to a minus k, and you have to tell what are the minimum. The question says that you have to convert a to b in minimum number of moves, right? In minimum number of moves, right? So is the question clear to everyone? Right, is the question clear to everyone? If the question is clear to everyone, then please write a +1 in the chat. Okay, perfect, perfect. How can we approach this problem? Right now, once we have done this, so let me just copy the test cases from here. Okay, if you are watching and if you haven't liked the video, so you can consider liking the video, right? And now let me paste this part here somewhere. I think it will get pasted. Yeah, uh, let me just copy the answers as well for this problem, right? Let me do this. Let's copy it here somewhere. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now let's take all the test cases that have been given to us, right? Let's say if a value was um let's say if the value of a that was given to me was 5, right? And if the value of b was also 5, then in this case there will be 0 moves, right? I'll require the number of moves that I'll require, the number of moves that I'll require will be nothing but 0, right? Everyone agrees on this, right? This is what I'll require. Now let's say if a is equal to 13 and b is equal to 42, right? So what will be the number of moves required to convert a to b? How can you do this, right? Can someone tell me in the chat quickly? If someone can tell me in the chat how we can do this problem. You have to convert a to b and you have to minimize your moves, right? How can we do this? You can choose any k between 1 to 10. You can choose any k between 1 to 10. Any number of times you can perform this operation, and you have to minimize the number of moves in which you will be converting this 13 to this 42, right? So if the question is clear to everyone, so just can you tell me in the comments like how we can do this? We can find the difference between a and b and check whether it is divisible by 10 and with make counts accordingly, right? This is perfect, right? So if you will try to do random things like a plus k, a minus k, so this is good. You can try to dry run this problem, right? But what I want to emphasize in this problem is what is the difference so the difference for this test case is for this, right? So this will come out to be 9 and then this is 3. So sir, we have to choose bigger number to minimize the number of moves. Yeah, right, you have to choose bigger case, right? You have to choose bigger case, irrespective of the fact that you are whether performing a minus k or a plus k, depending on the situation. You have to choose k optimally, right? You have to choose k optimally. So what you will try to do, you will try to do what? You will try to basically choose k in such a manner that you try minimum number of moves, right? So if you have this, so how many number of moves will you require? Can someone in the chat quickly tell me, for making 29, for getting 29, the number 29, how many moves will we require if I want to get the number 29? So what should be my values of k for getting the number 29? Let's say I want to add k values. So how should I add? What values of k will make me? I can choose k from 1 to 10. What are the number of times that I should choose k? And if I'm choosing k, so what should be their values? First of all, tell me what will be the number of moves that I'll be taking. And the number of moves that I'm taking, that is perfect. But the number of moves that I will taking, yeah, right, perfect. So for this, you can take first of all 10, right? You take 10. So now again take 10, and now again take 9, right? So you take this 10 plus 10 plus 9. Let me relight it again. Okay. Yeah, 10 plus 10 plus 9, right? You do this. Once you simply do this, so you can say what? You can safely say that you can make a 29, right? And let's quickly look for the other test cases as well, so that the problem statement is very much clear to all of us. Like you can see that these problems, you have to minimize the moves, you have to maximize the moves, minimization, maximization, all these types of optimization, right? Total 3, yeah, total 3, right? Ria is correct. Okay, now let's consider this case. 18 minus 4, what does it give me? It gives me a 14. How many moves for 14? For 14 I can get 10 plus 4, right? So this means two moves for it, this, right? Now let's take 1 3 3 7 and 4 2 0, right? So subtracting this, what will I get? 9 1 7, right? I get this. How many moves for this? How many moves for this? How many moves do I need for this? How many moves do I need for this? How many moves should we give it to this? Right? Can someone quickly in the chat tell me how many moves for 917? Just quickly tell me in the chat how many moves for making 917. You can choose integers value k between 1 to 10. This is how you'll do it. How many moves? How many moves for making the number 917 from k? Right? Yeah. Perfect answer. 917 will be nothing but it will be 10 into 91 plus 7, right? So you can take the value 10 91 times, right? 91 times you can take 10. Yeah, right. 91 times you can take 10 and one time you can take 7. So that is why you take total 92 moves, right? So this case is also clear. See how we can how we are easily now able to approach problems, right? Now let us see. Let us look for the other cases as well, okay? Let me just erase this part. Okay. Yeah. Now let us look for this case, right? So this is nothing but let's take this case, last case. Yeah. And let's take 9,000 this case. So for this case, if you see, this will be 500, this will be nothing but 0, then I'll get here a 9, right? So this is what I'm getting. I think this is what I'm getting, right? What will be the number of moves for this? Can someone quickly tell me? If someone could quickly tell me what will be the number of moves for the last case? What will be the number of moves for the last case? Just quickly tell me so that we can move ahead, right? Just quickly tell me what will be the number of moves for the last case so that I can consider moving ahead, okay? So the number of moves will be nothing but, if you try to solve it, if you try to subtract this, then you will get what? You will get the number of moves that you will get once you get a subtraction. So the number of moves will be nothing but 9150. You can try to calculate it. I think that this part is pretty much self-explanatory for all of you, right? So how can we do this? How can we do this problem? Can someone quickly tell me in the chat? Can someone quickly tell me in the chat how many moves, like how to do this problem? Right. So what will I try to do? What will I try to do? Right. Let's say I get some number I, right? Let's say I take C in A, right? And then I take B. Then what I can do is I can calculate difference. Difference will be nothing but absolute of A minus B, the absolute value, right? The modulo of A minus B. I take this. Once I have this number, what I can do, right? So in another thing that I want is the count, right? I will be using a counter, so I can make the count as 0, right? Initially I'll be making the counter as 0. What I'll be doing is I'll be starting my k from 10 and my k will be greater equal to 1, right? And then I can do a simply a k minus minus, right? So after this what I'll do this. The count is equal to count plus let's say difference by k, right? Count will be this. Everyone agrees on this? Like this will be the number of times that it is divisible by k, so that is why I'll be taking, and then I'll be updating my what difference. So my difference now will be difference is equal to difference modulus k, right? This is the remainder that will be left when I divide it by k, right? Once this is done, so I'll simply see out what? I'll simply see out the difference, right? Everyone agrees on this? Everyone agrees on this? Like is this solution clear to everyone? How we are doing this? And this is order of 10 because only we are running the loop 10 times, so that means basically order of 1, right? It is constant space because order of 10 means simply order of n, right? So is this part clear to everyone? Is the code part clear to everyone? Then please give a +1 in the chat if the code part is clear to everyone, right? Please quickly give a +1 in the chat. Okay, moving ahead with this problem, right? So what I'll be doing first, I'll be taking first of all, let's say I take long and I take long Yeah, right, clear. Okay, see, in A and B, first of all I'll be taking A and B, then I need a K as well, and I need a count. Okay, I need a count which I'll be initializing as 0. Then what I can do is I can run a loop from 10, right? And then I is greater equal to, I is greater equal to what? I is greater equal to 1, because I'll be running K is greater equal to like K. Okay, let me just increase the font size for you guys. Okay, so K is equal to 10, then K is greater equal to 1, then I do a K minus minus. After that what I'll do, I'll simply do two things, that is count is equal to count plus diff divided by K. Okay, let me first of all take the input of C in A and B, right? A and B, let me take the input, and long diff is equal to what? Absolute of A minus B. Yeah, right, this is what I'll need to do. Now after that, what there's one thing that I need to do as well, and that is updating my difference, right? So difference is equal to or you can say difference mod is equal to K, right? Updating difference, right? Updating, now my difference is changing, right? And this will be counting for the K time, right? This is what I'll do. Then in the end I can simply do a count. I can simply print count, right? And I'll do change of line, right? Let me just copy the test cases for this problem. Okay, right, so let's see what happens with this problem. So you are getting 0, 3, 2, 92. This. So I think everything is coming according to the sample test case. Let me just try and submit this, and let's see if we get an AC or not. Okay. Right. So let us see if we get an AC. Okay, so right, you can see that this problem got accepted, right? You can see that it got accepted, and this is how you do it. Let me just open the code part once again. Right, yeah, this is the code. So you take A and B as an input, then you take the difference, and then you take K is equal to 10, K is equal to 10, K is greater than 1, K minus minus. You count the number of times that you will be taking dividing for K. That is the number of times this particular K value will be giving me the answer, and then you update your difference by taking the mod. That is the remainder part, right? This is the remainder part. Remainder part that is left, right? Every time you divide it by K, so some remainder part will be left. That will be difference modulus K, and then in the end you print the number of moves, right? The count of the moves that you have taken, right? If this much part is clear, then please write clear. And another thing that we can do for this problem is how we can do, let me show you some magic part, or not a magic part but some basic observation, right? So what you can do is you can simply do one more thing, that is you can take difference, you can add it by let's say 9, and then you can simply do this, and then you can divide it by 10, right? How does this work? This will also work, right? This will also work for us. How? Let me check for the sample test cases, and then we'll show, I'll show it to you as well. Like how does this work? This is some unique this is some basic mathematical approach that I wanted to tell you guys, because this will also get accepted. Okay, so instead of running a loop, let's say if the K value was larger, right? Let's say if the K value was very large, so in that case you won't be running a loop, right? You can see that the second approach also got accepted, right? So for this what I'm trying to do is, what I've tried to basically do is, you can see that what I tried to do, I tried to take the difference and I added 9 to it and divided by 10, right? Because K value, the maximum K value was 10, right? Let me go to the sample test cases. Okay, let me clear this part so that I can explain what I tried to do, right? So this part, like this will be helpful when you otherwise what you will be doing is you will be going up till the maximum value of K, right? So that can cause sometimes time limit exceeded error if the constraints are too tight, right? So since you do not want that, so you'll always want to calculate such things in order of one time, right? So this is what I'm telling you, an optimization in competitive programming. So let's say what was my difference, right? Just a second. Okay, so what was my difference? So let's say if it was 42 minus 13, so it was nothing but what, it was nothing but let's say 29, right? It was 29. So since this was 29, so what I could do is, what I could do is, right, Yeah. So what I could do is I added 29 by plus 9 and I divided it by 10. What do I get? Let's see what do I get. So I just divided by 10. So I get 38 and I just divided by 10. What do I get? I get a 3, right? And this is what the answer is here, right? You can similarly try for all the other cases, but how does this thing work, right? How does this work? This is another important thing that we need to notice. Like, how does this actually work? Okay, so let me try and show you like how actually it does work. So what you will be doing, let's say if I say that you have to round up something, right? You have to round up. So what you do, like let's say if I give you 3 and if I ask you what is its round up value when divided by 2, right? So you'll say that answer is 2, right? So how do you do it? So basically you can add 1 to it. That is the value just lesser than it, just lesser than the value that you are dividing, and then you divide it by 2 and you get this, right? Similarly, if let's say you have a number x, let's say you have any number, okay, let's say you have a number 38, right? And you have to give the upper value, like seal value. So you add n minus 1 to it and you divide it by this, right? N, then you get the answer. Okay, you get the rounded answer. Now you'll say that this might give some errors, that so that will not be the case. Let's say if it was 2, so you'll say that now it might give me when it divided by 2 and adding it by 1, so it might give me a different answer. So that will not be the case, because now this will be 3 by 2 and this will be 1 again, right? So 2 by 2 will also be 1 and 3 by 2 will also be 1, right? So this will not cause me any harm in such cases also, right? So this is some optimization that I wanted to tell, that if you have to calculate something like this, so instead of running a loop, you can directly calculate by adding n minus 1 to it and then dividing it by n minus 1, right? If this was part is clear, then that's formula, that is not a formula. Basically, if you have to check from k greater equal to 1 and you have to divide up till, right? So that is not something that you will like to do. Let's say you have the difference, right? You have the difference, then you add k minus 1 to it and you divide it by k, right? This is some basic mathematics. So in that case you will get it, right? So this is nothing but taking the seal value, right? This is nothing but taking the seal value. This is nothing but taking the seal value when you divide difference by k, right? In this you take the seal value, right? So this is the part, that something that I wanted to explain extra. Shall I move to the next problem? Shall I move to the next problem? If Ria Tripathi and Shaheen, if Sethi and Ria, both of you are clear with this approach, shall we move to the next problem, right? I think we should. Okay, perfect. Let's move to the next problem. The next problem is named as honest coach. Okay. So this much part is clear. So time complexity and space complexity were pretty much constant for that problem, so it is very much self-explanatory. Now the second problem is honest coach. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Perfect. The second problem is honest coach, right? So the second problem is honest coach and it was a B problem. Let me check where it came. So it came in 644 diff 3, right? It came in CF CodeForces 644 division 3, right? Okay, that was something different. Yeah, learn new magic part. That was not magic, basically mathematical. Can you use ligma algorithm for this question? Actually I am not aware what is ligma algorithm, so I will research about it later and I might tell you that we can do it or not. Okay. Right, so if you like the explanation and you haven't liked the video, so you can like the video. Okay, let's move to the second question. Second question is named as honest coach. It was asked in 644 div 3. Now let's read the problem statement. So the problem says that there are n athletes in front of you. Okay, there are n athletes and the athletes are numbered from 1 to n. Okay, so basically first information, that is there are n athletes and they are numbered from 1 up till n, right? They are numbered from 1 to n, and you know the strength of each athlete. Okay, you know the strength of each athlete. So since you have let's say you have an array. Okay, you have an array and this array, let's name it as S. So for a let's say it is from 1 up till n. Okay, so you know si is the strength of the ith athlete. Okay, strength of the ith athlete. Okay, this is what you have. Now next up, something that I want to say is you want to split. Oh, that was something. Yeah, so you want to split all athletes into two teams, right? So you have to split these two athletes into two teams. You will be making two teams. Okay, you have to split this array into two teams, right? You have to make two teams. You have to make basically two teams, right? Sorry for that, bro. What Okay, so you need to make two teams, right? You need to make two teams. Let's say you take some number, some here and some here, right? Depending on the case though. Okay, some here and some here. We'll see how we need to divide. Each team must have at least one athlete, right? Each team must have at least one athlete, and each athlete, at least athlete, must be in exactly one team, right? Each team should have at least one athlete, right? Each athlete should go to, let's suppose you are at this athlete, right? So this athlete can either go to the first team or it can go to the second team, right? So it can either go to one of the teams, it cannot be in both of the teams, right? And each athlete should be present in only one team. And a team, there are two teams, so a team, both the teams should have at least one athlete in them, right? At least one athlete should be present there in each of the teams. Now let us read the problem statement further. So what it says is, you are the strongest athlete from the first team. You no 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 Each athlete, okay, you want the strongest athlete from the first team. Let me just zoom in a little bit if you want to read it. Okay, so you want the strongest athlete from the first team to differ as little as possible from the weakest athlete from the second team, right? The strongest athlete, the at least, let's say you divide this into two teams. The first array is named as A and the second athlete is named as B, right? Let me make some space for this so that we can discuss further, right? Yeah, right. So let's say you have been given this array. Okay, so you divide this into two teams. This is the first team and this is the, let's say, second team. Okay, some number of players. So you want, let's say this is the array A, this is the array B. So you want the strongest of A minus weakest of B. First of all, you want that. Okay, you want this. And you want what you want the strongest athlete from the first team to differ as little as the weakest athlete from the second team, right? You want this. So you want this is the difference that you will be getting, right? Let me write it once, just a little bit clear, because I think that this much diagram part is clear to all of you. So let's now focus on the mathematical and the logic part only. So you want the strongest of A. What do I mean by strongest of A? So you want the maximum value of A minus the minimum value of B. Okay, you want this difference, whatever difference you get, you want this difference to be as minimum as possible, right? Everyone agrees on this? Everyone agrees on this? Right, so this much part must be clear to everyone, right? Once you have done this, so what it says is you want the modulus value, right? So absolute value, and where max A is the maximum of the A first team and the max B is min B is the minimum team player from the second team, right? So let's say if you take this case 3 1 2 6 and 4, right? Let's say you take this team 3 1 then 2 then 6 and then 4, right? Yeah, 3 1 then 2 then 6 and 4. So what we can do, let's try to divide them. I can take this 6, I can take this 6 and put it here, then I can take this 4 and I can put it here, right? After that, what I can do next, I can take this 3 and I can put it here maybe, right? Then what I can do, I can put this 2 here as well, I can put this 1 here, right? Let's say I do not put this, let's say not, I do not do it like this. Basically I put this 4 3 1 and 2 here, and what I do is I put only 6 here, right? So this is the minimum from the first team. This is team B, this is team A. So what is the maximum from the A team? The maximum from the A team is nothing but 4, right? And what is the minimum from the B team? So the minimum from the B team is nothing but 6, right? Because this is the B team. So what will be my difference? So the difference is nothing but 2, right? What is the absolute difference? Absolute difference is nothing but 2, right? Absolute difference is nothing but 2. Can we further minimize it? Can we further minimize it? Do you think that we can further minimize it for this case? Do you think that? So we can, you see this, so I'm getting a difference of 2, right? For that, A strength and B strength are nearer to each other. To minimize the overall difference, two highest in two teams, two highest element in two teams. What do you, if you can explain a little bit more with some test cases, then I can be more sure about what you are trying to approach. Okay, Sethi, you can just explain a little bit more because I couldn't get your point. Okay, so you can see that I got 2, but in the answer it is written, in the answer it is written that the difference will be 1, right? The difference I got is 2. I tried to be optimal, but I got 2. But they are saying that the answer, let me change the color of the pen. They are saying that the answer is actually 1. How is that possible, right? So let's try and see. Okay, let's try and see how or what we can do for this case. Okay, what we can do for this case further, right? So what I can do is, what should I do for this case? Can someone in the chat tell me what should I do for this case? So I will tell you what they have given. So they have said that take 1, 2 and 4 together and take 3 and 6 together. Okay, so they are saying that take 1, 2 and 4 together and take 3 and 6 together. So with this, what will happen is, this will be the A team, this will be the B team. So the maximum value of A will be nothing but 4, and the minimum value of B will be nothing but 3. And now my difference, now my absolute difference between the two, right, my absolute difference will be nothing but 1, right? Now my absolute difference is 1. So this is one way, but how do you get such intuitions, right? So this is very much clear. If the test cases are clear, then please give a +1 in the chat. If the problem statement and the test cases are clear, please consider giving a +1 in the chat, so that I can move further. Once you give the +1 in the chat, and if you haven't liked the video, so you can consider liking the video. Once we do that, so you can like, you see that there's some random pattern. Like, this is a tricky question, right? This is a tricky question. You get an array, you have to divide it into two parts such that both the teams, you have to divide it into two teams such that both the teams are having at least one element of the array, right? And what you have to tell is, you have to tell the, you have to find the minimum, you have to find the minimum absolute difference, right? How? Yeah, like test cases 3, 1, 2, 6, 4, 6 and 4 you take, right? So 4, then 2 again. First, 2 highest, 6, 4, so 2b is equal to 4, then again 2 highest, second highest 3, 4, like that. Okay, okay. So right, so how we can generalize this approach, right? How to approach such a problem? Now consider this was a problem B. Okay, this was a problem B in a diff 3 round. And if you haven't solved such problems, right? If you haven't solved such problems, such greedy problems, if you haven't practiced about such problems, so you'll never be able to get it, right? You'll never be able to get these problems, because what requires is, you require thinking, right? You require problem solving skill. How can we approach this problem? Can someone tell me, like, what should I do exactly? How should I do it? Can someone tell me in the chat? Like, I want to know how should we approach this problem? How can we approach this problem? Right, let's take this case, that is 3, 2, 4 and 3, right? 3, 2, 4, no, let's take this case. Okay, let me just write it somewhere here. Okay, so let me take this case. So now your task is to think like how we should do it. Just tell me, how should we approach this problem? I don't want the direct answer, but I want an approach from your side. Like, suppose you were giving the contest and you get this in a contest, will you panic? No, you should not panic. You should try to think, and I'm assuring you, if you'll think, you'll get something. So this is why I have taken this problem, right? So this is a good problem. How we can do this, right? How we can do this? Let's look at the test cases, right? So this is 3, this is 1, this is 2, this is nothing but 6, and this is 4, right? I have to divide this into two teams, right? This will be my team A and this will be my team B, right? How do I do this? How do I do this? Let's take this test case only. I think that we have taken this test case earlier. Let's take this test case. Sorry for that. So the test case is 2 1 3 2 4 and 3, right? So what we could do is, how will you try to divide, right? Sorry sir, we sort the array and alternatively add elements. Okay, let's say we do that. Okay, let's say I sort it. So what you are suggesting is 1 2 2 3 3 and 4, right? This is what मैं भी sorting का सोचा था पहले. अच्छा, let's see what we can do. 1 2 2 3 3 and 4, right? So I hope that you find this problem interesting and challenging one, right? Now that is why I never share the problems. I try to share the problems only just before the contest, just before the live streams, because what I want is, I want you to think like you were thinking in the contest, right? That is why your dopamine should arise. You should feel the contest vibe, the online assessment round type of vibe, right? So now what we can do with this, you are saying that take this alternatively. So let's say I take 1 for this, I take 2 for this, then I take 2 for this, then I take 3 for this, I take 3 for this, and I take 4 for this, right? You're suggesting this. Now tell me one thing, this is what you guys are suggesting probably, right? Yeah, it will not work. Ria, it will not work, right? Yes, it will not work because the maximum for this will be 3 and the minimum for this will be what? Minimum for this will be 2. So 3 minus 2 will give me a 1. But the actual answer for this test case is 0, right? And you can notice that since you have 2 and 2, so you'll be able to manage it in a way that you get it, right? So how do you approach this? You cannot do this alternatively, right? So this approach is gone. How can we do this? Just quickly tell me. Just quickly tell me in the chat. How shall we do this problem? How shall we do this problem, right? How shall we do this problem? I will give you, let's say I give you 1.5 minutes, okay? I'm giving you 1.5 minutes to think, okay? I'm giving you 1.5 minutes, just think. How should we do this problem? How should we do this problem? Just tell me quickly. Just quickly tell me. Just think about some solution, just some approach that we can do. Just think about that. Can you think of something? Like how should we actually be approaching this? First of all, it is very clear. It is very clear to us. Like I'll give you a hint. Sorting will be applied. Sorting is for sure. Because without sorting, you'll not be able to optimize your answer. You'll not be able to minimize your absolute difference between the maximum value of A and the minimum value of B, right? But how can we do it further? This is something that I want to know. How can you do this, right? This is what I want to know from all of you. Now this is something that I want to know from you. I won't be telling the answers directly. I can support you, I can give you an hint, but I want you guys to solve this answer, right? I want you to think. If you sort it, right? Let's first write the sorted format. So this is nothing but 1 2 2 3 3 and 4, right? This is what we have been given, right? Let me write all the test cases. Let me select all the test cases, okay? And I'll write it in the sorted format so that we can think of something. Like whenever you get such a question, how do you think so quickly, right? How does a programmer think? How does someone who is a competitive programmer, how does he or she thinks so quickly, right? This is something that we want to understand from this problem, right? Okay, let me just copy the answers for this test case. Yeah, perfect. Now let's write this. So this is the first array is nothing but 1 2 3 4 and 6. Then the second one, this is the first one, and for this, what will be the answer we need to calculate. Then the second one in the sorted order is 1 2 2, then 3 3 and 4. What will be the answer for this? We need to calculate for this as well. Then the next array in the sorted format is 1 3 7 and 9. What will be the answer for this? We still need to calculate. Then the next array is 1 and 1000. What will be the answer for this? The answer for this will still need to calculate. Then the next array is 100 150 and 200. What will be the answer for this? We still need to calculate. Have you thought about some approach? Just quickly tell me, what is your approach on this? What is your approach on this? Just quickly tell me, how should we approach this problem? How shall I be approaching this problem? Just quickly tell me, just quickly think of something. I've written all this in the sorted format. How should you think of this? How should you think of this? Or what are you thinking? If you are thinking something, just quickly let me know what are you thinking exactly. What are you thinking? Just let me know. No idea, sir. नहीं सोच पा रहे उस डायरेक्शन में. So will you stop thinking? No, you should not stop thinking. Try to think of something. Try to think of something. Can we think of anything? Like anything that can help us. I'm just waiting for your answers. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. What you can do is, let's say you have this array, right? You have this sorted array, right? Let's say you have this sorted array. What you do is you divide it, right? Let's say you divide it from here, right? You divide it from here. Let's say you divide it from here, this point, right? So let's say these are the elements that you have in it, and these are the two elements that you have in this, right? Now tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. For this array, right? Let's suppose you partition from here, right? So this, since this is a, right? This is a, this is a, this is b. What will be the minimum value for this value, right? Let's say this is x, this is y, so this will be x, this will be y, right? The maximum value, the last value, the point where you do partition, the maximum value will be a, right? Maximum of a will be nothing but x, right? And minimum of b will be nothing but y. Now can you think of something? Now just let me know, can you think of something? Can you think of something? Now can you get some hint from this? Can you think of something? Can you tell me the answer for this now? Highest, second highest, all these are like, you don't need to think in that way, right? How should we think about this? Just tell me quickly. I've told you that let's suppose you do the partition from here. So let's suppose that this was the x element. So this element will now be the largest element for this A array, and this y element, which is part of the second array, which is the first element of the second array, considering in a sorted manner. So this y will be the first part of this, right? And what you have to do, you have to find this, right? Maximum of A minus maximum of B. This is from the definition of the question itself. How do you do this, right? Can you get some hint now? Can you get some hint? Now, can you get some hint from this? Can you get some hint? Just quickly tell me. How do you see this? You do a partition, right? You do a partition. You divide the array into two parts. You sort it. Let's say that you divide it into two parts. That is what you will be thinking, right? You will be doing. Either you can divide it here, here, here. Let's say I'm saying that let's say I divided it here, such that up till now x was here and y was here, right? So you divide. I divide here at this point. I divide. So basically, now x is the maximum element of the A array and y is the maximum element of the B array, right? How can I do this? What does this indicate? What does this indicate? My answer will be nothing but mod of x minus y, right? My answer will be nothing but, this value will be nothing but mod of x minus y, right? The absolute difference between the x minus y, right? Right. This will be the thing. This will be the thing. That means that I can partition the array. I can partition, or you can say divide the array from anywhere, right? From anywhere, from anywhere, and there can be any x and y, right? There can be anywhere, and the maximum for the A will be x. The maximum for A can be x and maximum for B can be y. I can divide anywhere, and then in that case my max will be what? Where I will divide, the point where I will divide. So the last element of the A array will be my A team, will be my maximum of the A, and the first element of my B array will be the minimum of B, the point where I partition, right? So you can see that I can partition anywhere, right? I can partition anywhere. So that is why That is why. Can you tell me the answer now? Can you tell me the answer now? I can see a lot of people are watching. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. I'm trying to put in a lot of efforts for you guys, so you can consider liking the video. Okay? Can you tell me of something? Can you tell me of something? Can we do something? How can we do this? How can we do this further? Just quickly tell me. Just lightning fast. I want an answer now. Like Ria and Sethi and Kaushal. Can you tell me of something? Can you tell me of something now? Can we do something? Is this part clear to everyone? Is this explanation clear to all of you? Sir, loop agar minimum absolute current or previous, right? Yeah, right. This is what you have to do, right? Yes, this is what you have to do. Just first of all, quickly tell me, write a +1 if this much part is clear. If this much explanation is clear to you guys, then please give a +1 in the chat. Only then I'll be able to move ahead. Okay, just consider giving a +1 in the chat. Only then I will be able to move ahead. Please give a +1 in the chat quickly. Then let's move to the solution part for this problem. Okay, right. Okay, I'm still waiting for your +1s, so please give a +1 quickly. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. +1, right. This part is clear, right? What I'm saying is, let me tell you what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I'm saying. Let me remove all this part. Yeah, perfect. Right. So I need to choose. I can choose any I. Let's say I choose any I, right? I choose any I, and once I choose it, so I just need to find the absolute difference of a of I minus a of I plus 1, right? And I need to choose the minimum absolute difference, right? For any particular I need to choose the minimum absolute difference, right? What will be the minimum absolute difference in this case? So in this case, either you can choose this and this, you will get an absolute difference of this. So let's say you partition here, right? Let's say you partition here. This is one part. If this is one part and this is another part. So in this case, 3 minus 2 will give me a 1, right? The answer will be 1. Anyway you can see, anyway you can partition, anyway you can partition, right? You can also partition it like this. Let's say you partition it like this, right? Like this. 1 is here, 1, and then 1 is the maximum element of this, minus 2 mod, taking the mod, this is 1 also, right? So you can partition it anywhere. Just notice that if you will partition it here, so you will get a 2, right? So in this way you will get a 2, but you need to partition at a point such that the absolute difference between those elements is maximum. You need to choose an x and y such that the absolute difference is minimum, right? So for this case is done, right? This case is done. Now let's look for the next case. Let's look for the next case. So you can see this is 2 and this is 2. If I divide it here, if I partition it here, what if I partition it here? So this will be 2, this will be one part, like 1 comma 2 will be one part, and 2 3 and 4 will be one part. So minimum element from this will be 2 and the maximum element from this will be 2, right? So 2 minus 2 will give me 0. So this is the answer, 0, right? So this test case is also clear, right? I guess this, if this is clear, please consider giving a clear, writing a clear or yes clear in the chat, so that I know that this part is clear, right? For this case, you can partition anywhere, right? Here the difference is 2, here the difference is 2, here the absolute adjacent difference is 2, right? So if you irrespective of the fact that where you partition, you will get a difference 2, right? So here you will get a difference of 2 anyway you partition. Let's say you partition it here, let's say you keep one different, and then 3 7 and 9, right? So in this way you will be able to see that the difference is 2, right? Okay, I hope that this test case is also clear to all of you, right? Now let's move to the next test case. The next test case is 1 and 1000. What do I do for this? What do I do for this test case? Can someone quickly in the chat tell me what do I do for this test case? Okay, what do I do for this? Like 999 is the direct answer because there are only two elements, right? Now let's check for this test case. Okay, this is how you need to think, man. This is how you need to think. This is 50, this gives me 100, so that is why I'll choose the minimum absolute difference, so that is 50. So the answer for this test case will be 50, right? So is the code is the part clear to all of you? I think that this part is clear. So now let's quickly implement the code part for this. Okay, let me just quickly implement the code for this problem, right? I should be implementing the code part for this problem. Okay, yeah, right, perfect. um what I should do, so I will taking int n, and I'll be taking minimum mi, which I'll be initializing to a very large value, let's say 1e9. So that is 1 into 10 to the power 9, or let's say 1 into 10 to the power 8. After that, what I need to do, after that I can take an also I, and then I'll take the input of n. After that I'll be declaring int array, right, int a of n. Once I do that, so what I'll do, I'll simply take the input for this part, right. I'll take the input, and let's take the input. Let me take the input as well. So I take the input. Once I have done that, so what will I do, I'll check for the adjacent. So I start from 1, I is less than n minus 1. Why n minus 1? Because I will be checking for last pair that I'll be checking will be n minus 2 and n minus 1th element. That is why for the last element, that is n minus 1th element, I'll not be having that is the element at the index n minus 1. I'll not be having any other pair for this element, right? So what will I do, mi is equal to minimum of nothing but what, mi is equal to minimum of nothing but mi comma absolute of ai minus ai plus 1, right, ai plus 1. Everyone will agree on this, right? And in the end, that will be my answer, because at that point only I'll partition, so that is why the minimum will be my answer, right? Let me just copy the test cases little quick. Perfect. Let's see if it works or not. Let's quickly check. Yeah, this works. 1 1. So now no, I'm not getting that. Why I'm not getting the absolute difference, right? I'm getting something wrong. Oh yeah, something that I missed is sorting part, right? I missed the sorting function, right? I need to sort them as well, then only I will take the adjacent difference, right? So I just missed the sort part, right? I have to sort them as well. अच्छा तो सर ये क्वेश्चन सारे ब्रह्मांड का ज्ञान लगा दिया, वेल कॉन्सेप्ट हिंट देने से थोड़ा आइडिया लगा. दैट्स ग्रेट. 10 2 999 and 50, right? Perfect. Let's try and submit this code as well. Okay. Let's submit this code and check whether it works or not. So I've submitted it. You can see that I got an accepted, right? I just got an accepted, right? So you can see that this problem got accepted. The solution that I did, this got accepted. Let me show you the code part for this again. You do simply one thing. You have to find the minimum. So since you have to find the minimum, so you initialize it to somewhere that is some value that is infinity, right? That is 1e8 for this case, and then you take the n as input, array as input, and after that you sort it. Once you have sorted it, so you check for all the adjacent pairs. You check it for all the adjacent pairs in the array, and you find the minimum absolute difference between particular index ai and I plus 1, and then you simply print the minimum difference, and there you will be partitioning at that point, right? So is this question clear? If this question is clear, then quickly give a +1 in the chat so that I can consider moving ahead. Shall I move to the last question for the day? That is this question. Okay, the question is restore permutation. Let's move to the last question for today. Okay, the question is restore permutation. Shall I move to this question? Restore permutation by merger, right? Shall I move to this? Shall I move to this question? Perfect. Let's move to this question. So this was again a problem B of CodeForces round 656 division 3. Okay, +1 clear. That's great. Okay, this was a problem B from 656 div 3. So you have been given an permutation of length n. What is the permutation? First of all, permutation of length n is a sequence where all the integers from n where all the integers are present, right? So if you don't know, so if it says permutation of length n, right? So if anyway you get permutation of length n, so that means that all the elements in that particular array, what will happen, all the elements from 1 to n will be present. They can be present in any order, either sorted order or not a sorted order, right? They can be present in any order, and what you will get is each element from 1 to n will be occurring one time, right? So let's say if I have to make a permutation of length 5, right? If I make a permutation of length 5, then I can have 3, I can have 1, I can have 2, I can have 4, and I can have 5. Notice that each element is occurring one time, right? Let's say if I have a length 3, so 1 1 and 2, this will not be a permutation, right? Because 1 is repeating and 3 is not occurring, right? And also like let's say 1 3 and 1 3 and 3, this will also mean not a permutation, right? So for this, the permutation will be 1 2 3 or 3 2 1 or 2 1 3, anything like that. All the elements should be present, at least all the elements should be present from 1 to n exactly once, and they can be in any order, right? So they can be either sorted, not sorted. Okay, so this is what a permutation definition means. Now let me quickly move to the next part. So what it says is a permutation of length n is a sequence this, and you have been given a permutation, right? And it was merged with itself, right? In other words, let's take two instances of p and insert elements of second p into the first, maintaining the relative order. Okay, so what it says is the resultant sequences of length 2n. So let's say if 312 is there, then what you can do from 312, you can do what? You can make 312 again, right? Let's say if you take this is one of the cases that you can make. Let's say if you have 312, so that what you will do is you will have another 312, you will copy 312 and you will paste it again here, right? So what will happen with this? What will happen with this? So will this, the thing that will happen is it will look something like 312 and then again 312, right? And there can be a lot of other combinations as well, but I'm not going deep into it. You can read it, like what are the other valid possible combinations. Only you can notice one thing, that you need to maintain the relative order. Okay, let's say if it is 2 1, so what you can do, you can write it as, if you are given 2 1s, then you can write 2 1 again. So this is very simple, you can only consider this for solving this problem. Okay, so right, this is what you have to do. Now let's move to the further part of this problem. So what it says is that you have to find the sequence is not merger. Your task is to restore the permutation p by given a resultant sequence a, right? So what you have been given is, let's say this was 2 1 and 3 and then 2 1 3, right? So what you have to do is you have to get 2 1 3 again, right? You have to get 2 1 3 again. Let's say this was a, so this is the permutation p, right? Now you will say that this is easy, you can just print the first three elements. That is not the case for this, right? How and why, I'll tell you. Let me copy this test case just real quick, right? If you see this test case, 3 3 1 1 2 and 2, right? So for this the answer will be what? 3 1 and 2 that we discussed. But how, like this will also not be clear, right? Let's see this 3 1 3 1 3 2, right? Okay, this is 3, then 1, then 3, then 1, then 2 and 2, right? For this also this will be 3 1 2. Can you observe something? Let's say I have another, let's say I take another, let's say I take 3, then I take 2, then I take 2, then I take 1, then I take 3 and then 1, right? So I'm not considering, let's consider the case that has been given to us. 3 1 3 1 3 1 2 2, right? 3 1 3 1 2 2, that is what I have done. And 3 3 1 1 and 2 2. Okay, yeah. So another case can be like, let's say this sample test case only, 3 1 2 3 1 2, right? And you have to get 3 1 2 from here, right? How will you do this? Can someone tell me in the chat? You have to restore the original permutation from this a has been given to you, and you have to restore the original permutation. And the permutation definition is that each element is occurring exactly once and the order should remain the same, right? This is the order, right? So either you could there can be various you will be given the array A that will be of length 2 cross n, that is the double the length of the array, and you have to tell me that how will you do this, right? So if you notice one thing, this is nothing, this question is nothing, asking nothing from you. You write just, we use set in this. No, you will not use set because it will get sorted, right? You will not use set. It's like removing the duplicate element but not changing the order. Yeah, right. This is what I was saying. What is the first time that 3 occurs, right? This is the first time that 3 occurs, then 1 occurs, then 2 occurs, right? So if the element is occurring for the first time, you take a map. If the element is occurring for the first time, then you simply do what? You simply print it. If it is not present in the map, or if it is occurring for the first time, then you simply print it. Otherwise you will not print it, right? Is this question clear to all of you? Is this question clear to everyone? Okay, shall I write the code for this part? Shall I be writing the code for this? I hope that the question is clear to all of you, right? So let's take long n comma I comma, this this is what I'll be taking. Let's say C in n, then I will take long a of n. Okay, this is what I will take. After this, let's take a unordered map. I'll take an unordered map such that it is long comma long I can say, and let's name it as MP. After this, what I'll be doing, I'll be taking input of every element. I start from 0, I is less than n, and I plus this. After this, what I will do afterwards? Can someone quickly tell me in the chat? What should I be doing after this? What should I be doing after this? Two-pointer approach? No need for that. You can do this using this approach only, right? So what you will check, you will take the ith element as an input, right? You will take a of I as an input, and you will check that if up till now, if it is not present in the map, if map of a of I is 0, right? If it is not present in the map, right? If it is absent, like if it is occurring for the first time in the map, right? If it is occurring in the map for the first time, then what you will do? If it is occurring for the first time, then what you will do? You will simply print it, right? You will simply print it, right? You will simply print it. This is what you will do. In otherwise, what you will do? Otherwise, you will just keep on counting. You will keep on increasing the frequency of it, right? This is what you will do, and in the end, you can simply do this handle. You can change the line for the next test case. Is this code clear to everyone? If it is occurring for the first time, then the map of a of I should be 0, and that means that I'll be printing it. Otherwise, I'll be just counting it, right? This part, I hope that this is clear to everyone. Okay, let me just copy the samples and see if it is working or not on the sample test cases. Right, okay. Let's try and run it and see whether it works or not. So the answer is 1, 2, let me see. 1 then 2. Why am I getting a gap here? Have I done something wrong in taking it according to the test cases? Yeah, I'll be taking 2 cross n, right? I will be taking 2 cross n, and the array size will also be 2 cross n, right? 2 cross n. Now it will work. Yes, बहुत सही approach है ये. Yes, that's clear. That's how you do this, right? I had to take n inputs, right? 1 2 1 1 3 4 2, then 1 2 3 4 5, then 1 2 3, and then 2 3 4 1, right? Let me just submit the code. So this was where you just used an unordered map, right? Let me just submit the code, and then we'll talk about this question further. Okay, let's try and submit it. This is a greedy approach, right? You just try and see that where the first occurrences, you are only concerned about the first occurrence, right? And other occurrences you don't matter, it doesn't matter to you. So this code got all accepted. Let me show you the code for this just real quick. Okay, right. Just zooming in. So what you will do, you take I and n, then you take n as input, then you declare long a of 2 cross n, then you declare an unordered map. Why? Because in this the time complexity will be order of n. If you use a map, so in that case the order of the time complexity will be n log n, right? So unordered map, the time complexity is order of n, so that is why. And then you take 2 cross n, then you take all the input, and if the element ai is occurring for the first time, then you simply print it. Otherwise you keep on counting it, and then you simply change the line for the next test case, right? Just let me quickly discuss about this problem a little bit more. So for this problem the time complexity will be what? The time complexity will be order of n, because I was using what? I was using an unordered map, right? Unordered map. And if I were using a map, so that is why the time complexity would have been n log n, right? N log n. So this would have been a better approach, right? And talking about the space complexity, so there will be a space complexity of order of n for this question. Because why? Because I'm taking the element, right? I'm taking all the I'm storing all, right? I'm storing in the unordered map, right? I'm storing them in the unordered map. So that is why there will be a space complexity, right? I hope that this much part is clear. So did you like this session? If you have learned a lot from this session, then please consider giving a +1 in the chat, and then only please give a +1 in the chat if all the three greedy problems are clear to all of you, right? Right, today also we discussed three problems, right? Today also we discussed three greedy problems, and all of them were different from each other, right? Three greedy problems today also we discussed, right? All of them were good. So let's meet tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow, 5 p.m. Sunday. Okay. The channel is Codera. You can consider liking the video. You can subscribe if you haven't already, or if you are watching the recording. Sir, liked a lot. That's great. +++1. Okay. This will give you a compiler. Okay, subscribe and share it with your friends if you like the video. Okay, and Codera, let's meet tomorrow 5 p.m. with again 3 or 4 problems according to the capacity that we can cover. So we are covering lead code daily challenge, and we will also be bringing atcoder beginner contest. And one more thing that we'll be doing is, sir, can you provide the questions in the morning? I'll try. We will try. We have just started the session, so we will try this. Okay, I will try this. Okay, and CodeForces editorials as well. And the master classes are taken by me. Currently, we are taking the greedy master classes. Okay, greedy master class, or the mastering greedy problems. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, that's it for today, and thanks for watching. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, and practice as much as you can, right? At least 3 to 4 problems a day. 3 to 4 problems a day. Okay, right. Yes, sir, I also watch lead code daily challenge. That's great. So that's it from my side for today. I'll just wait for 30 seconds more, and then I'll end the stream. Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in.